I consider not symptoms in my body,
I consider not symptoms in my
but only that which God has promised.
only that which God has.
Only that what the Word has said.
I don't know who actually
And by
follows
his
him.
A lot.
stripes I was
And that's what's so
healed.
scary.
And by
So
his
insane.
stripes,
Right now, I have to tell you, the people that are really spreading this stuff and being irresponsible are, well, young kids that are just dumb and ignorant. But then there's really just a lot of, I don't want to be super offensive here, but
Let's not be.
okay, good point. There's just a lot of ignorant people
Yeah, it's just
in certain parts
stupidity.
of the country, but it's amplified by these religious people too. But you know, the virus this week has gotten bad.
Well, this guy doesn't represent most normal religious people.
No. But a lot of people are down with this, and I've been seeing more and more footage of preachers being like, "I refuse to cancel service. I'm gonna have 1,000 people in my pew. Easter Sunday, the pews are gonna be full." If these people all go out on Easter and congregate, thousands of them, I mean, there's gonna be
Yeah.
the rate of spread in this virus is insane. There's gonna be an unimaginable outbreak from that, and you know, the places where it's growing the most now this week was, funny enough, Florida. Louisiana, they had Mardi Gras after their national emergency was declared. And now Louisiana is like becoming the epicenter. Same with Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So these kinds of people are
I don't know what people are thinking. I'm just thinking to myself, I don't want to leave the house. I don't know.
because they don't get it. They don't.
Yeah.
It's too far away. They need to wait until they know somebody who's died or is in the
Yeah.
hospital until they realize it's a
And
problem.
then they panic.
Yeah, and then they panic, but they won't listen to reason until it slaps them in the face because they can't fathom it, and that's why most people, when you listen to the Spring Breakers we made fun of in our video, they're like, "It ain't that bad, you know. It's overstated. We're all out here. We're fine, you know."
Yeah.
They don't get it. Someone we know, for example, who was naysaying, he thought we were all overreacting, and now he knows somebody close to him who died of corona, and now all of a sudden he's like the most paranoid person of all because he didn't listen. But now it's starting to affect us. This is kind of crazy thing, but my grandpa, who's 94 years old in Las Vegas, he lives in a assisted living home. He's in the hospital right now with double pneumonia, and they think he's going to die. And they think he has coronavirus. He had a flu, and he had trouble breathing, so they brought him to the hospital, and he has pneumonia in both lungs. And what's crazy, like, okay, so being close to the situation makes me realize a few things that I didn't really internalize before. First of all, my grandpa, who just went in there like 2 days ago, it's taking 5 to 7 days for him to get his test back.
I've heard about that.
5 to 7 days for him to get his
Yeah.
test back. And then the next other craziest part is that nobody can go and visit him. Nobody can go in there.
Yeah. That was the first time I thought about it when the guy we know said someone passed that he knows from their family. That made me realize, like, if someone actually dies that you know, this is such a weird time because they're going to have to be there alone and the family can't even do a funeral or
You can't have a funeral.
mourn.
You can't go to
like
the
you
hospital
would
to visit.
normally.
You can't be by their side.
Like in Israel, you do the Shiva. The whole family sit together for 7 days.
Can't do that either.
Can't do that. It's
Yeah, it's
really weird.
So this is kind of what I've started to realize,
Yeah.
seeing it in my own family now, is that even if you don't have the virus, let's say, it takes 5 to 7 days. Your ass is stuck in there in quarantine, and you're probably gonna have it by the time you leave the hospital anyway. I don't think my grandpa's gonna leave the hospital, unfortunately. But the doctors are so overrun, you're not even getting attention. My mom's on the phone with him, and he's gasping for breath, and she's trying to call the hospital to get doctors to go take care of him, and they're all so overloaded, nobody can even give him attention. And it's to the point where they look at him and say, 94-year-old guy, double pneumonia. His chance of making it through this is almost zero. So actually, we need to be smart. What do they call that when they have to?
They have to pick. Yeah.
What do they call that? It's called a triage. They have actual triage going on where they have to select people who have the best chance of surviving. They have this whole protocol of being like, okay, so there's a 40-year-old here and a 6-year-old. The 40-year-old gets the ventilator because he has more life to live and he has a better chance of surviving. That's what's happening. My 94-year-old grandpa is just sitting in the hospital. Nobody can visit him. Nobody there is interacting with him or cares about him. And then when he passes away, nobody can even go to his funeral.
Yeah.
And I'm actually now even more concerned about the assisted living facility he came out of, because if there's
Right.
coronavirus inside the assisted living center, then there's going to be a lot of deaths and a lot of the same shit going on. That's the worst place for.
I mean, I
for it to
remember
get
when
into.
my dad was at the hospital, unrelated to a crisis situation, they're already overworked.
Mm-hmm.
It was already hard to get attention for him, or get the proper attention. They're busy, and then if something happens, you gotta go find someone, and you gotta wait because they have to do the whole floor or
Yeah.
whatever. So, just putting what's already a really tough situation now in this crisis environment, I can't imagine what they go through in the hospitals.
Well, it's war is what they're
Yeah,
saying.
right.
And the first responders, the front line, the nurses and the doctors, they don't have enough gear. They're reusing masks. I heard even a report that was telling nurses that they'll be reprimanded if they're using protective gear because they don't have enough and they need to save it for the doctors. Can you imagine that?
Jesus.
They're not even testing now, the front line people. They're starting to die. Nurses and doctors on the front line are dying. And look, I can't speak politically about this, but I still think that our government is not even close to doing enough. There's a.
I mean, just hearing talks about like maybe lifting some of the quarantine sounds so insane to me.
So first of all, that's not going to happen because it would be so insane
It's
to do it. But what it has an unintended consequence of doing it, which he's signaling to people
right,
who are
exactly.
already
Even
not
just
taking
by
it.
saying that.
He's
Yeah.
signaling to people who are not taking it seriously that it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
And that's why you see a lot of these churches and community centers playing with the idea of like, yeah, we're going to be open.
Yeah.
We're going to be open. And, they go, all these economists or not economists. It's really coming from look, I'm just going to say it. It's coming from right-wing news stations and personalities. They say, to quote Donald Trump, he said, let's not have the cure be worse than the sickness, which is what he means is this whole lockdown is hurting our economy so badly that the more people are going to get hurt by that than the actual virus, which maybe makes sense in some way, but you have to understand that.
Oh, I forgot that's gonna make noise.
Oh, yeah. You have to understand that the only way to fix the economy is to kill the virus. You cannot bring people back to work and back into the community because the virus is just going to spread and we're going to end up in the same exact situation we were. The only way to fix the economy is to defeat the virus. The minute that virus starts spreading again, we're all going to go in lockdown again because people don't understand the consequence of this is so catastrophic that once you're presented with it, the horror of it, you will crumble. You will crumble. This week it's gotten bad. The United States has become number 1, baby.
Yeah.
And coronavirus cases.
Infections.
And by the way, our rate of doubling is 2 days. There is no sign of it slowing right now. We have a lot of pain and suffering here in the United States still ahead of us, unfortunately. So just stay strong, stay indoors.
Stay quarantined.
We gotta ride this out. There's no shortcuts here. Everyone thinks sadly, there's just no shortcuts here. We gotta ride it out.